After the Philadelphia thing, Club Soda Kenny was there. We go out to get in the car. There's a flat tire. So, of course, thank God there was a man in the parking garage in Philly. My tire's flat. So me and Kenny changed the tire. It looked a lot like Kenny changing the tire with me handing him lug nuts.
Of course it did.
While he sweated profusely and got filthy and had to go back in and wash up while I stood there pristine and clean with my fucking Mr. Rourke suit without a drop of oil on it.
That's my job.
But I finally handed Kenny some lug nuts, so I can now say that we did it. And my windshield got cracked. It was a nightmare trip. My opener canceled. Gino couldn't make it because stupid Gino missed his flight. So I had to call my buddy Chuck Miganelli, who made it down and destroyed. Thank you, Chuck. Just killed for me. So great job, buddy. So I get down to D.C. and the promoter recommends this hotel, the DoubleTree Hotel, which just stinks. I hated it. It was awful. They lied about the internet connection. They lied about the pillows they had. It was a fucking disaster.
They lied about the internet connection.
Yeah, every room has high-speed internet. Does it really? Yeah, but it looks like dial-up. The business center. How do I jerk off in the business center, assholes?
The business center.
Hold on. They're pillows?
This is almost in my rider. I happen to like, and I need feather pillows.
Feathers.
I don't use rubber pillows. I can't. You know those rubber awful foam pillows?
Yeah.
I can't sleep on them.
Down pillows.
My head has to go.
You want the lives of many goose.
Yeah.
Goosen.
It has to be like that. I cannot sleep on rubber pillows.
Yeah.
I need down pillows.
Wow, that's something I never knew about, Jimmy.
So I called down. I'm like, we were told there were down pillows in this hotel. And the guy's like, well, look, this is 4 in the morning. 5 in the morning. He can't find any. I'm like, we're checking out of this hotel immediately. So Club Soda Kenny and I get up and get our stuff, and we start checking out. And then the guy had to wake his manager up and take his pillow.
Oh, man.
So I had to go back and unload the car again because the man found pillows. I was out of my mind.
Over pillows?
You don't understand. If I don't have the pillows I want, there's a problem. I one time in Baltimore had to leave the hotel and check into another one because I started to rip up the pillows. They were so bad. The rage I felt at these fucking foam pillows. If you like foam pillows, I hope your head just falls off. Everyone should rebel against these goddamn things. I'd rather sleep on Al Zarqawi's floor than a foam pillow.
Some of them can be quite comfortable.
They're not comfortable. Only feathers and down.
Right.
That's what I need. I know. Pillow diva. Hey, and I'll get a phone call for 2 weeks now. Hey, Jim, how's that down pillow? Here they got feather pillows. Yankees got feather pillows.
That's my new favorite thing you do, man. The bed impression. Oh, God.
So I get to Virginia. The next night is show night. What happened with this show was that it sold out. There was 500 people approximately, and that was a sellout.
Thanks to your new friend, Jay Leno.
Yes, the tickets were selling well. I did Leno, and then it completely went clean. So my agent calls me. He goes, look, the promoter wants to reconfigure the room and add a couple hundred seats. Now, I only do seated shows. I've been offered to do standing room only shows. I turn them down. I absolutely refuse to do shows where standing seats are sold. I won't do them.
Yeah.
It's a rock show. Jim Brewer can do that because of his act. He's a high-energy type music, so I can't do it.
You want people sitting there enjoying the comedy club atmosphere.
And I can honestly, if you want to talk, the inside of Lily, I could make almost double the money doing standing shows because you could get almost double the people in.
Yep.
And then you're into percentages, and you can make a lot more money.
Play some boxcars on the way to Auschwitz.
Exactly, because you just hose them down in the back by the bar. So I refuse to do them.
Essential to the comedy effort.
So my agent knows this. First thing I ask, will they be seated? Yes, they will be. And the way they can reconfigure a room, if anyone thinks I'm bullshitting, State Theater the first time I did it, sometimes they have a dinner theater set up where they'll have like round tables with bar stools around them or tables like a comedy club set up. Mm-hmm. And they can reconfigure that into like theater seating, which is the way most rock clubs are set up anyway, which is just long rows of seats like you'd get in any theater.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy to reconfigure a room to put more seats in it, whereas 500 could be a sellout with one setup, and you like to have a show sold out. I mean, I don't think that's breaking a showbiz rule. It looks better when a show is sold out because then people buy tickets faster because the show is sold out. They know they have to get tickets faster next time. It's just better to have a sellout.
Yep.
So we do the reconfiguration. That sells out. I'm very happy with that. I get down there, sound check. Kenny calls me 2 hours before the show. You know there's going to be a couple hundred people standing. And I go ballistic.
Oh,
what
boy.
do you what the fuck
boy.
do you mean? People are what are you talking about? He goes, well, there's going to be a bunch of people standing right in front of the stage and all over the back. And I go crazy. I call my agent. I go, what the fuck is this? You co-signed this shit, people standing up. I went nuts. I mean, he goes, no, seat for every person. We talked about this promoter. We talked about this. So he calls her. He screams at her. She's trying to back down and go, no, it's a miscommunication. No miscommunication. Pete knows what I do and what I don't do.
Right.
She tried to be slick. And people are blaming Clear Channel. This is a division of Clear Channel. This is like a local promoter that falls under the umbrella of Clear Channel. So ultimately Clear Channel is responsible, but it's almost like completely blaming CBS if one of their affiliates does something.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about who knew what before I'm going to... And I will blast Clear Channel if this was them, but this might have just been a local promoter fucking up. Because we had a Clear Channel guy we wanted to bring in to do the show, and the local promoter's like, no, we promise. Everything will be fine. Because my guy in Philly is phenomenal. So now we have a major fucking problem because I have about 250 to 300 people who are going to be standing in this show. And this happened to me in Cleveland years ago, and it will never happen to me again. I went fucking...
How do you have people standing stage side when other people are going to be sitting behind them?
Hey, what the fuck was she thinking?
Geez, sorry,
Holy shit, dude, that's my point.
I knew it was stupid, too.
Like, then there's going to be people sitting that aren't going to be able to see the show.
Yeah.
She wanted to make more money, so she's cramming all these people in. I go crazy.
Yeah.
Pete gets her on the phone. Kenny was at the house when it happened, and he said Pete was yelling at her, and she had to walk away from the house staff because she was getting screamed at. She guarantees they'll all be seated. So Pete calls me. He goes, problem is solved. They're going to seat everybody. No problem. I promise you they're all going to be seated. Okay. She calls back. Hey, do you want to do a second show? This is maybe an hour or half hour before the show. Absolutely not. We have a sellout. We're not doing a second show. For what? We get 150, 200 people out here that want to buy tickets. They're dying to get in. The phones are still ringing off the hook. And I'm thinking, well, maybe Ron and Fez talked about it. Still, I don't want to do it. And they offered me good money.
Yeah.
Pete says, I don't think we should do it. You have a sellout. Come back into the market, do a bigger play. You don't get greedy. And that's one thing I love about my agent. They're not greedy scumbags. They handle Metallica and Billy Joel. They don't need my extra fucking measly money. You understand? They're not scumbags. So he says, maybe I could get her to such as... Because I'm going, let's just see what she's offering for another show because I'm already there. If she wants to... If there's fans that can't get into this show, we could do another show, like a fan appreciation show, and they want to pay me good, why wouldn't I do it? I mean, we're there. So he goes, all right, he got her to double what she was offering, which was really odd to me. Like, why would she want me to do a second show? For what?
Mm-hmm.
For a couple of hundred people, but I'm like, fuck it. If that's what she wants to do, we will do the second show.
Wow, yeah.
So I do the first show, and it's fucking phenomenal. It's one of the best shows, and I can honestly tell you that was one of the best shows I've had in a long time. My opener destroyed. I had a great fucking set. It was fantastic. Kenny tells me he's counting the room because I want Ticketmaster counts now. I want a box office count because there's some kind of problem going on with this promoter. I want this taken care of. I don't want to. I'm not getting fucked on the counts, and I don't want people getting fucked. Believe me, I'm crazy about this shit.
Yeah.
I never want people walking out of my shows with a problem, ever. Kenny says there was like 500 or 550 people in the room, which was the original sellout. So, and it looked like most of them were seated. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I do the second show. There might be 200 people there. It's a good show. The energy is off. It's not as good as the first show. I like them. They're a great crowd, but there was something wrong. Here's what happened. Those people were all people that had been told they could not come into the first show unless they wanted to stand up anyway, a standing room. They were basically told, you guys got to go to a second show. This fucking promoter, because I went crazy about her lie, which was that there were seats for everybody. Even after she guaranteed Pete there were seats, there were no seats. The seats had not been put in. Some extra ones had been put in, but not 300 worth.
No.
They couldn't get them all in there.
So she just comes up with this second show.
150, 200 people waiting. Those were people that already had first show tickets. So these fucking poor people are sent home. We're given the option of standing room, which I didn't want. So these people are fucking obviously fuming.
Yeah.
And I found this out before the first show that this was going to happen. So I took a poll from the audience, and I taped it. I have it on tape. How many of you guys were here for the first show? They all go, yeah! How many of you bought second show tickets? maybe 5 people. There really was never a second show.
Right.
It was all first show people.
People, they oversold the first show and then just came
lying
up with
about having seats and then not thinking they were going to get caught until I was on stage. This slick shit promoters do. For those people that got pushed back to a second show, I fucking never would have done that, man. I never would have just had you push back. I mean, I love making money, but I would never risk my reputation in a market. And so I got an email from one of the fans. And do you have this in front of you guys, this email?
Yeah, I got one.
Can I request? Anthony's always the best at this. May I request that you read this to me?
Oh, let me see one.
Thank you very much. Just don't read his name. This guy John. Let's just say.
Yes, I like the subject right away.
What was that?
Fuck you from a former fan who got fucked at the State Theater.
All right. And I was wondering, what's this about?
Yeah, with a subject line like that, you definitely open it up and take a peek. Thanks for the rod in the ass you gave me at the State Theater tonight, you fucking con man. I purchased 4 tickets from Ticketmaster at 12:01 p.m. on Saturday. That Saturday the tickets went on sale. I paid $25 per ticket plus $8 per ticket to Ticketmaster. I show up at the State Theater, wait in the fucking 90-plus degree weather for an hour to be told that I can either have standing room only or come back 3 hours later because they talked the artist into doing a second show. Real fucking big of you. You decide to give a performance for people who paid money to see it. Your Lebanese cunt of a tour promoter couldn't be more full of shit. She told my wife to give her card. She was going to talk to Ticketmaster and see if she could get us a refund for our fee. I'll hold my breath waiting for that return call. She couldn't be more full of shit. She knew what the capacity of the club was and purposely overbooked it. I talked to the club owner for about 20 minutes. He told me they were sold out, but we reconfigured the hall so we'd have more seats. Was the biggest bunch of bullshit that he ever heard. Those are words coming from your mouth. What did they do? Build a fucking Florida room in the back? He has a club and just figures out that he should set it up to maximize the number of people that can get in. He was man enough to refund us our purchase price plus Ticketmaster fee out of his own pocket, plus give us passes for the next show of our choice. He did it because he didn't want the stink of your sleazy bullshit on his reputation. He told us he rented the hall to Clear Channel and was mortified to be associated with this fucking debacle. It's a real fucking shame because I was a huge fan, my wife was starting to be a fan, and we brought another couple with us to turn on to you. I liked you because of the things you said I liked you because of things you said, like how you hated the airlines because they fucking see how many people they could cram on a plane with not thought of their comfort. It's the exact same thing when you reconfigure the club and start selling more tickets to a sold-out show. What a fucking hypocrite. Well, welcome to the list of asshole performers that I once enjoyed but no longer will pay a penny to their product because they're such miserable fucking human beings. Things are going good for now. Keep fucking people over and see how long that lasts. It's a shame that your talent seems to be equaled by your fucking money-grubbing, Clear Channel-sucking, douchebag-drinking sleaze. Thanks, fucker.
Now, this guy...
wow, first of all, wow.
He was slightly irritated.
This is...
I was going to say, I think he's a little pissed.
A fucking pissed off fan.
And I wrote him back.
Blaming you.
And I wrote him back, and he said, well, that's the type of shit, of course, don't blame yourself. And I wrote him again. And eventually he calmed down. He's like, look, dude, I was just a fan. And I guess the fact that I wrote him back a couple of times, he realized that I told him the truth about what happened. And I forwarded this to my agent. I'm like, this is the way fans are going to perceive what happened.
Absolutely.
And my agent talked to him. He's going to be competent to another show. He's cool about it now. He understands. But that's why I explained that reconfiguration, because the way he words it, that's how I'd see it if I was a fan. You fucking scumbag. You're going to reconfigure a sold-out show. But honest to God, man, a rock club like that has no built-in seating structure can have comedy club seating with tables and stuff and then just be set up into rows like a theater seating. And that is very, very common. That was not a lie. Had I known it was sold out, that perfect audience of 500 and something people that was there,
yeah,
a mobbed, perfectly quiet, listening, everything you want as a comedy audience show that was, I would never have wanted that oversold. I would have flipped that into a second show in a second if I would have known that was exactly the problem. I swear to God I would never have done that. I'm not that fucking greedy. And as far as the promoter, I never fucking met her. She would not come into the dressing room. She would not even come look at me. She stayed in the office the entire time. And this is not even a reflection on the State Theater, because promoters rent from the people. The State Theater guy, I think, was extremely embarrassed about this. I was extremely embarrassed about this. The promoters don't give a shit because it's not their name and their face. It's Jim Norton, and it's State Theater. So the fans that got fucked about this, just look at my track record, please, of interaction with fans. I would never stick my dick in the fans like this. I don't do it. I've never done it, and I never would do it. I always try to give you a good show. This type of backlash and it's a deserved email. This guy was enraged. I mean, to think that they would cut a line off and tell these fucking poor people that they had to just come back, tough shit, or have standing room only, which I specifically said no standing room in my shows.
Yeah.
So even after all this bullshit, this bitch is still offering standing room. She didn't want to admit that she had gotten caught lying, and my agent, who is an animal and has an amazing reputation, he's not a scumbag at all. Believe me, these are guys that told me to turn down certain TV things, even though they would have made money off it because it wasn't right for me. These are guys that make enough off their other clients. They don't need the extra few dollars I'm going to give them for fucking cramming people into a show and wrecking it.
Yeah.
So my apologies that this happened. I swear to God, I never would have purposely done this to you.
Wow.
Ever.
I have never seen an email somebody so pissed off.
And I did again. This guy, we did finally make it right with this guy. I mean, we explained what happened. It's like, dude, you got fucked, and it's just, honest to God, I couldn't have seen that coming.
So he talked to the owner of the club, and the owner was like, reconfigure. But that's bullshit.
No. The guy knew about the reconfiguring.
Yeah.
But the guy probably didn't know that I had
nothing to do with it.
A no standing rule. When they said reconfigure, again, to me, that's theater seating being laid out in rows. This guy knew it was reconfigured after a sellout. But that's not a completely uncommon thing to do. He probably didn't realize that standing room was an absolute no-no for me. I never would have signed on for that. Why? Even though I could make more money doing it, it fucks up the show. It's not a fun show.
You don't want to do that with people.
I want to be able to pause. I want to be able to relax. I want to be able to do the jokes the way I want to do them without going, this fucking manic concert page. I don't want to have to do that because it's not as fun and the show isn't as good.
All right. Let's go to the phones. They've exploded, obviously. Let's say hi to Chuck. Chuck, what's going on?
Hey, I think Jimmy needs the Paul Anka clause in his contract now that the fans get seats.
The fans get seats. The fans get seats.
You know what?
Absolutely.
That is a contractual thing, and believe me, if we were lying, if I all of a sudden changed my tune last minute, they would have went ballistic and threatened to sue me. If I said, I'm not doing standing room with a sold-out show, she would have said to me, you motherfucker, if you don't do this, we will sue your balls off. If you you think she would have paid me extra money to do a second show for people that had already paid for a first? They would have threatened to sue me in a second. She knew she was wrong. She knew that we were right, and everybody knew we were right. And she got fucked financially for it, but the fans got screwed too. And I feel sick about that. I really do.
All right, Tom, you're at the show Friday.
Yeah, it was an awesome show.
Thank you.
The problem was though we stood in line for the hour, and this was like at 7 o'clock, and then all of a sudden we get up toward the front, and I would say probably a horde of at least 100 people started going in front of us. They started coming out saying, anybody with reservations, who has reservations, and everybody's looking around going, what the fuck do you mean reservations? Never heard of that. Through Ticketmaster or anything. So I think that was a little bit of a problem. So we stood in the back because we didn't want to come back. But awesome show. Awesome show.
All right, Tom.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Let's go to Steve. Hey, Steve, what's up?
Hey, I had a comment about Jimmy's opening song for his set.
Yeah.
He comes out to National Acrobat, and I think Fluff would be more appropriate for his body shape.
Actually, a very obscure Sabbath reference, but thank you, sir.
Wow. Len in Cleveland, go ahead.
Hi, guys. This is Len in Cleveland, of course.
Hi,
hey,
Len.
Jimmy.
Hey, buddy.
I just bought tickets for your show Friday at 10:01. My wife and I are just dying to see him, and plainly on Ticketmaster it says at the Odeon, standing room only.
No. There's going to be seating. I had a problem with the Odeon one time. That's probably what the Odeon lists, but I had a problem with the first time I did the Odeon with Keith years ago, I fucking threw my water against the wall in the dressing room because they had people standing in the back. That will be a seated show. Capacity is much less than it would be standing. That's probably a standard thing with the Odeon, but when I do it, it is a seated show. And Pete knows that. If that promoter...
The fans get seats.
The fans get seats.
Who the fuck wants to stand for a comedy show? You don't stand for jokes. Comics are not. I'm sorry. I'm not a rock guy. It's not what I do. I talk about my fat tits. You sit. But the Odeon will be seated. If you have to stand at the Odeon, I will set the fucking entrance to that place on fire, and I will slaughter the promoter with a knife.
Jesus.
It's not happening. We worked out that problem 3 years ago in Cleveland.
All right, why don't we take a break here, and we'll continue, I guess, all right?
Right.
You feel better?
I do, man. An email like that bothers me because I really do. And I can't be mad at the guy. And by the way, sir, I agree with your assessment of the promoter, although she never showed her fucking face to me. Ever. But we haven't talked to anybody from Clear Channel because this happened Saturday night and, of course, Sunday, and then now it's Monday morning at, 8:45 a.m. So my agent comes in at 10, so this will be taken care of today.